Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. I am on the Velotric Thunder 1. Yeah, this is a Class 1 bike. So what am I doing out here again with this bike? Well, we're doing the range test today. Yeah, I charged this battery up fully. So we were at 100%. And thought I'd take it out to see how long I can ride on this thing before the battery gives up. So what do we have this on here? Well, I have it on the advanced mode right now. What do they call it? Do they call that the adventure mode? I'm not quite sure. I'll have to go and check. I'm still learning this bike as far as what things are called and the like, and getting used to the trigger shifter here. I should probably pull off and take a look to see what they call it. Yeah, I'll put a graphic up. That's what I usually do when I don't remember things, right? So yeah, this is a Class 1 bike, and it has a torque sensor on there. Now, many people feel that the torque sensor is the way to go, that it's a little bit better for you. You get some exercise. But I have to tell you, I'm beginning to wonder if it is for me though. And the reason is because, as you know, I have a replaced left knee, and I don't have a whole lot of strength in my left leg or left knee. So it puts me into a tougher situation because I have to pedal to get this bike moving. And if you can see my display screen, I have the Velotric app on here, and I'm averaging about 12 miles an hour. I am on their highest pedal assist mode, but keep in mind that even if you're at the highest pedal assist mode on a torque censored bike, it only goes as fast as you pedal it. Let's take this path on the left here. And since I can't pedal it that hard, I don't go too fast. Many of you have asked me about the other bike, the other commuter bike that I have. You all know what it is, right? Which I like a lot. It is a cadence sensor on that bike. And so I don't have to pedal that hard, and I can hit 20 miles an hour on it. But the drawback on that bike is a single gear on a belt drive. Now, a belt drive is nice, but the single gear not so much, because sometimes you start up from a dead stop and you're basically at the top gear because there is only one gear. And so it becomes difficult to get started. There's no throttle on these Class 1 bikes, as you know. So because of that, I have a hard time getting started. Not so much on the Velotric, because the Velotric, there's gears here. There's I don't know if you guys can see it. The angle might be a little bit different for you guys here now, but on the right side, there's trigger shifters. And I could trigger shift that thing down to first gear if I wanted to get started, and then shift back up, right? So let me talk a little bit about this shifter, and also about the derailleur, okay? Now, this is not the first bike I had to do this to. I've had several bikes where the derailleurs came in not properly aligned. I don't purposely think this is from the company doing that. I don't think they purposely do that. I think they actually send it corrected. It's the shipping that affects it. I'm not kidding. A recent bike I had come in, the derailleur guard was pushed in. So obviously that's going to affect the derailleur, right? I pulled the derailleur guard out and it still had problems. I had to totally redo that derailleur. I had to take off the cable, reposition things, reset the high limit and low limit, if you know what that is, on the derailleur and everything, and so works fine. Same thing happened here. Now, they don't have a derailleur guard on this particular bike. Personally, I think they should, but I think sometimes these companies don't put it on in an effort to save weight. But how much weight can a derailleur guard add? I'm thinking it's worth putting the derailleur guard on. I don't know if you can put an aftermarket one on. I'm probably sure you could. You should look into that, because, you know, if your bike falls towards the derailleur, you don't want the derailleur to demolish. You'd rather the derailleur guard take the ding. So in that sense, I think it needs it, quite frankly. So Velotric, if you're watching, please consider adding a derailleur guard to the bike, because my bike came in kind of undone. Now, it was working for a while, and then it didn't work, and then it worked, then it didn't work, and I said, this derailleur's kind of messed up. And I know it's not the derailleur, it's a Shimano Altus derailleur, and I've had that on many bikes. I said, this is an alignment issue, because I would adjust the triggers here, and it wouldn't go all the way to first gear. It would just stay around maybe maybe 6th, 7th, and 8th gear, something like that. So I said, yeah, this is not right. So what I did is I disconnected the cable. I didn't pull it out of the thing. I just disconnected it where it's attached to the derailleur, and then retensioned everything properly. Once I did that, everything was perfect. All right. So it's an easy fix, quite frankly, but the fact is if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be able to shift. But now, let me shift for you here. I'm shifting through the gears. I'm going all the way down to first gear right now. So I'm pedaling really fast now. And then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th gear. So you see, I can shift properly now. So if you find yourself in that situation, whether you buy this bike or any other bike, you might have to do an adjustment, okay? Let's go down to 7th gear. Now, what else did I change? Well, you might notice I added a mirror. You all know that I always put a mirror on my bikes because I want to see what's behind me. I didn't have it when I did the initial review. Kept looking over my shoulder. That's kind of hard to do when you're riding a bike sometimes, to keep looking over your shoulder. So, plus this has a forward stance to it. I'm not sitting upright. I'm kind of leaning forward. And I think the next thing that needs to be done is probably somehow raise the handlebar on this bike. I've done that to the other bike. A couple bikes I did that to, where I got another handlebar stem, raised it up. All right, we're gonna have to wait here because we can't pass through everybody.
They also want some more.
So now to look at the current stem, looks a little different. So I don't know what needs to be done to raise it, or which size or whatever to get. So I'll have to look into that. As you know too, the Velotric has a built-in cell phone holder on the stem. I didn't use the sticky thing because, as I told you before, I plan to get rid of the oh, let me hold on a second here. Okay. During my shift, my chain had come off of the front chain ring. So now I'm gonna have to deal with the chain ring. A little greasy. Wipe it off on my shoes there. There we go. I gotta push and go forward again. Okay. Because it doesn't have a chain guard, Nothing holds that in place. If that thing comes off, it's going to come off. And that happened during the shift. So yeah, you got to be aware of that. They eliminated a lot of stuff to keep the weight down, right? So what is this weight? 36, 34 pounds? 36, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. I'll put a graphic up again. I keep forgetting because there's so many bikes. So, oh man. So yeah, I've had some struggles a little bit here on this bike with the derailleur not coming in right because of shipping damage. I wouldn't call it totally damage. It's more like shipping misalignment. You know, when the thing hits the side of the box, it's going to misalign that thing. And now, during the shift, yeah. So now I'm okay. Now I'm just shifting just to see how well it is. I may have shifted too fast or something, and it pulled it off of the front chainring. All right, this car is waiting for me to pass. Sorry, I can't go that fast. We're doing about 15 miles an hour right now. So, so yeah, some challenges with this bike a little bit, right? I think once you learn it, it's fine. Oh, here's another thing I noticed too. I think the pedals are a little too small, to tell you the truth. I think the pedal is sitting like right in the middle of my foot. And typically these pedals extend out a little bit more. So I usually have a little more to grip on, but I feel that the pedals are a little short. It's another thing that Velotric might want to look at. Maybe getting pedals that are a little bit wider, I think would be nice. Telling you all the good and the bad about the bikes, right? Oh, here's another thing that I noticed too. And there's no way to notice this except for over time, is that I noticed the battery will self-drain a little bit. Here's my guess. I don't know for a fact, but my guess is possibly could it be that, you know, it's connected by Bluetooth to your phone, and if your phone is anywhere near this bike, is it that the Bluetooth is constantly searching? And if that's the case, it's going to use battery. You see what I'm saying? So, should you unpair your phone from the bike when you're not riding it? Problem with doing that is there is an ability for the bike to tell you when someone's moving your bike. If you disconnect and unpair it, you lose that ability, right? So technically speaking, I think this bike is constantly on. Yeah, and because it's constantly on, it's going to self-drain if you don't ride the bike. That's something to consider. Now, the ST version, of course, doesn't have all this stuff, but it does have the Find My function on Apple. Does that also drain? Don't know. So, yeah, these are some things that I've noticed since having the bike. So what do I think of the bike otherwise? Otherwise, I think it's a fine bike. It's for someone who has the ability to pedal and wants to work out, because you're going to work out. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because if you don't pedal, you don't move. If you don't pedal hard, you don't move fast. All right? So as you notice here, I'm not going too fast. I'm at 9 miles an hour right now, but that's from a turn. I think I average around 12 on this bike. I mean, if I go harder, I'll go faster than 12, but my leg just can't handle it. And I know the last time I rode my commuter bike from the other company, which will be nameless for this review, my knee has never been the same since. That was the first ride of the season. And so I know that I can't push myself that hard as much as I wanted to do it right after the winter season. I just couldn't do it without paying consequences. So I just said, for this bike, For this ride, I can't do that unless I want to pay the price for the rest of the season and have a bad knee and leg. So I decided, well, if 12 miles per hour is where we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. 12, 13, 14, something like that. All right. All right, which way shall we go? We went right. Let's go left. This time I got a car ahead of me. Hopefully the car sees me. I'm pointing, let them know I'm turning. You all know this path. I do this a lot, right? So, what else have I noticed? Brakes are really good. I'll tell you that. These are hydraulic brakes, and so they stop really well. The fingerprint sensor works well. The app works well, from what I can tell so far. It does give you a lot of information. It'll tell me how much I rode for the day, how much I rode for the week, for the month, for the year. It'll break it all down for me, so that's why I'm not really looking at the information. I don't really need to until I'm done with the ride. It'll calculate things like how much calories you've used. I don't know how they do that. It just takes an estimate, I guess. I don't know. But I will tell you, for the short time we've already been riding, I'm already tired out. Yeah, I am actually very tired out already. I'm tired out by two things. First off, I'm leaning forward, so my hands and arms are tired. My legs are tired. We already know that because of the knee problem. So yeah, if you want to work out and you want an electric bike, something that has some assist, you know, this might be the bike for you. I just don't know whether it's the bike for me, to tell you the honest truth. I rely a lot on my throttle, as you know, on most of my rides. First off, I don't want to think about pedaling and talking a lot of times, and also I don't want to be winded when I'm talking to you. As you can hear, I'm actually kind of huffing and puffing a little bit already. So yeah, I don't know whether this is the right bike for me. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not saying that the bike is not good. I'm just saying I'm not good. I don't have the ability, is what I'm saying. And you won't know that until you try these bikes, until you ride them for a while, whether it's the right one or not. But at its price point, at its weight, at its technology that's on the bike, it's got a lot of stuff on it. I think most people would be really happy to get this bike. I just don't think I'm the most people because I'm a heavy rider. I weigh a lot. I got a bad knee and leg. So yeah, I'm debating whether this might be one of the bikes I keep or one of the bikes I might let one of my viewers have. Yeah, and when I mean have, I mean purchase. As you know, yeah, I don't just give away my bikes, but I will discount it if I had to. So keep it in mind. If you're interested in this bike, let me know. You know, just put a comment, let me know. But again, if I decide to sell, you would have to come to pick it up here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, because I can't ship this bike. I don't have the box anymore. I usually get rid of the boxes the minute I unpack it. Otherwise, I'd have a ton of boxes hanging around. Bike boxes are kind of big. Oh, here's another thing that I think would be nice if they had. It would be nice if we were able to tap into the battery so that we could, okay, let's shift down a little bit here. We're going up a hill. And then we can shift back up. If we could tap into the battery with a USB ability so we can charge our phones while we're using the app, because you'll be using the app a lot if you want to see your speedometer and other things. So yeah, if there was an ability to do that, I think it would be a lot nicer. These are just some suggestions, you know, to the company. I mean, they're not necessary, but the other thing I was thinking of is you could do this, shifting down, is you could put a phone mount like I'm doing right now on my phone and put a battery pack there to help charge up your cell phone, which would of course be attached to the stem of the bike. That's possible, because I do have a battery pack that's like the size of a phone. I could mount that and use that to charge the battery on the cell phone. The battery on this bike is rather small because it doesn't need a lot of power to run it. It's a 36 volt battery, and I think it's got something like 9.4 amp hours or something like that. I'll put a graphic up again. I can't remember specifics, but so it's not very large, and that's a possibility why they don't give that function for tapping into the battery to charge your phone while it's running. But it would be nice, obviously. So yeah, we're not going to do the hill test because that hill test would be based on my ability to ride up it, and of course, as you know, I'm struggling as it is now. I would probably have a hard time going up the hill. Good lane strength, you should have no problem, but not mine. All right, what else have I noticed? Yeah, I think that's basically it. Those are the main functions that I think, after riding this bike for a while now, and now finally doing the range test of it, these are the things that I'm noticing with it. You know, this is a standard bell too, by the way. This is on a lot of bikes. This is the one I usually replace. I decided to leave it on here just so we have at least one bike that has the standard bell. But one of our subscribers, believe it was is it Bruce? Yeah, Bruce. He mentioned that he found another supplier of the bells that I was replacing on all of my bikes. You know, it's kind of like a little cylinder-looking thing. It's like a half circle, not half circle. It's almost like 3/4 of a circle. Well, it's a little thin, narrow thing. Rings really long. Has a very low profile. I like them a lot. I think they were like $1.34 on this site. I'll put a link in the description to that. It'll probably be there as long as the seller is planning to sell it. But because I was his first time buyer, I was able to get free shipping too. So I bought 10 of them. I think I've gone through, last time I ordered like 10 from another supplier off of AliExpress, but they don't have it anymore. Then they had it again, but it was like $3.50 something cents or something like that each. So I put a cancellation of the order on that one and placed the order through the other site. So if you're looking for one of those bells or several of those bells, look at the link that I'll put in the description of the video so you can get one for yourself if you want one. It's not that expensive. I'd get a couple in case something happened to it. I mean, it's only like $1.34. Come on, you can afford it, right? All right, now we're gonna go up this hill. So I'm gonna shift down so I can pedal up. You see how slow we're going, but again, I'm slowly pedaling. I'm not like tired out, but we're slowly moving. What are we doing? 6 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. But yeah, this is what you do for going up hills, right? Then when you're over the hill, you shift back. To a lower gear, or I should say a higher gear, really. I think we're at gear 5 right now, something like that. All right, well, I'm not gonna hold you through the entire ride because it's gonna be a while. Based on the levels that I have set right now, and for as long as we've been riding, we're down now to 86% battery. It shows I have 22 more miles of range based on this 86%. Now, that's gonna change per person. If you're as heavy as me, that's probably not a true accurate range because you know, when they take these measurements, and I think they say that this bike can do 70 miles. Well, not for me. None of the bikes ever go that far because I'm way heavy, and we're going up and down hills, slight inclines, right? I think usually when they give you the maximum ranges, these guys are probably doing a track or something like that that's level. Use a real lightweight person, you know, pedal consistently, don't go up and down. So you end up with a decent mileage then. But realistically, many of us don't get that. I've always kind of felt that if a manufacturer told me 70, if I can get 35, I'd be really happy. Many times though, I might only get 25 out of something that might have said 70, right? So I'll give you a report at the end of this video as to what my final range happened to be after I'm done. And then we'll see what a heavy guy, and heavy I'm talking about, let's see, how heavy am I now? Because I gained some weight over the winter months, which I hope to lose. I'm probably close to 260 at this point. I wouldn't even doubt maybe even 265 at this point. So yeah, I'm way up there. So that's not good, yeah. But this is the reality of various riders, right? I mean, not everyone is the thin, body-shaped rider that wears the spandex and all that stuff. We're not all like that. Some of us are heavy. And yet we're still out here. That's the point. So anyways, I will continue on. We'll pick up this video in a bit after I'm gonna take the sidewalk. We'll pick up this video in a bit after I've been on here for a while. I'll show you how far we've gotten as we've gotten towards the end. Otherwise this video will be way too long. All right, stay tuned. All right, I've been riding for the last couple days. We're towards the tail end of this thing now. So what's my final mileage on here? Well, I think it's greater than I thought it would be. Yeah, I've got a few more miles to go before this thing ends, but I'll put a graphic up here so you can see what my final mileage ended up to be. I will tell you that it's a lot more tiring having a torque sensor for me because of my weakened knee. But yeah, we're close to about 35 miles right now. That's actually pretty good. They claim about 70, and like I said if I can get at least 50% of that, I would be happy. And yeah, I think we're gonna get it. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're interested in one of these bikes, go ahead and check out the affiliate link in the description below to get yourself one of these bikes as well. But like I mentioned, you got to work for it. This is not an easy thing to do with the torque sensor. You've got to be able to ride a torque sensored bike. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time.